What up, Tube? What are we doing today? We're going to talk about the Porsche, the Cayman, and how good it is to take on a road trip. Now, we've been back for a couple weeks, and hopefully you enjoyed a little road trip video. I got a new shirt right here. We're going to start doing a little bit more auto detailing, expanding out as our little side business because we've been requested to do it by some of the people that we hang out with in our area with our car people that we know. So anyways, that's that. Here's the Cayman. The Cayman did amazing on our road trip. We went to, I'm going to draw it out for you. How about that? Our road trip was 3,700 miles. So I'm going to go ahead and draw this out for y'all, and so you can see what it looked like. All right, y'all. So we started our trip in our hometown area of San Antonio, and drove west, obviously. Went through El Paso into New Mexico, stayed in New Mexico for the first night, and continued on through into Tucson area of Arizona. Stopped at the Pima Air Museum for the morning. Awesome place. If you've never checked that out, definitely a must stop. Beautiful, beautiful airplanes and a lot of awesome restored World War II vintage airplanes. And then we continued up and stayed in the Phoenix area for the night. Met up the next day with the Super group from there because we're making our way towards Super in Vegas. And then went straight into Vegas that day, through the Hoover Dam, that area, into Vegas. And started our last Supers in Vegas event as the creator and coordinator of the event. And that was really, really cool. A lot of fun. We did the track on Thursday, did the car show on Friday, did the dyno day on Saturday. That's all covered in our videos. And all in the Porsche. So nonstop, everywhere we went. On that Sunday, we went and left Vegas early in the morning, drove north on I-15 into St. George, across St. George, and into the north rim of the Grand Canyon. We have that video up. That was a lot of fun. A little disappointing, not because of the Grand Canyon, but because they didn't warn you that there's a lot of areas that you couldn't even get to on that area, and you didn't find out till you got there after you paid your $35 to get in. Either way, what we could see was beautiful. It's a beautiful area. We continued on to the Horseshoe Bend side of the Grand Canyon, hiked down. That was awesome. Took some pictures and video there. Continued on to Cayman, Arizona for the night. And we continued on the next day out of Cayman into Colorado to the city of Durango, Colorado. Beautiful, beautiful city. Had lunch there at a really nice restaurant, a small hole in the wall right by the Colorado River. Met up with Miguel and my other buddy Miguel in the Mark III Supra, and left there, drove up Highway 550 through the $1 Million Highway is what it's called. Beautiful views. Made it all the way to Crawford, Colorado for the night. Little small town, really nice little tiny town. Really hospitable people. A little Airbnb there. It was awesome. Woke up the next morning, continued on, went to Needle Point Rock, which is in Crawford, but continued on over to Idaho Springs. From Idaho Springs, at Idaho Springs, we stayed at a cabin that day at the base of Mount Evans. We tried to drive up Mount Evans. Unfortunately, that drive was cut short at about 10,600 feet. They were closed off for maintenance to the top. So that was a little disappointing, but we still got amazing views, an amazing drive through there. And then the next day, we drove out in direction of Colorado Springs. That was awesome. Beautiful drive. Most of the Highway 70 there is really right along the Colorado River. They had a lot of rest stops that were right on the base of the Colorado River. Unfortunately, those rest stops were closed due to maintenance and such, and they've just been going through a lot of fires, so I'm assuming they were just trying to restrict how many people were gathering at the rest stops to help minimize any of that, any more danger to them and the area. But the drive was awesome. The highway was awesome. The views were amazing. We went through Denver, the Denver area, and we stopped at where did we stop? Oh, in the Denver area, we stopped in Adams Car Care. That was really cool. Got some stuff there. We'd never been there. We've been using Adams stuff forever, for almost 20 years now. So that was really neat, just to go there to their main facility and buy some things we probably didn't need. And we hung out with our friend down in the Denver area and got to see his new 911 Turbo S, as well as his beautiful Mark IV he's had for a long time, and continued on. Made it up Pikes Peak till about 11,600 feet, where they had closed it out due to high winds, but that was an amazing drive. It was just cool to go up Pikes Peak, totally worth it. Hopefully we can go back again sometime and get to the top. And then we did a lot of touristy stuff in regards to, there's some beautiful mansions to see, there's some museums to see, a lot of Native American culture in Colorado Springs. That was a lot of fun. And then we continued on our road trip down to Lubbock, Texas. So we left the mountains, went to the plains of Texas. We stayed at an awesome Airbnb across the street from Texas Tech, and just drove home the next day. The last stop we made, as far as the touristy stop, every time we're going through Sweetwater, Texas, which is about 4.5 hours from our home, but if I'm up in that area for work or we are driving through, we always stop at the National Wasp Museum. So it's the museum, because Sweetwater was the location where the first Women's Air Corps squadron was started and trained. This was during World War II, actually before World War II in 1940, I believe. And these were the women that were test flying and prepping all of our bombers and airplanes for our soldiers overseas during World War II. These were the women that paved the way for that. For women in air today, in our Air Force today. Awesome museum, very small, but it's just a really good experience. They're expanding it. We'll be back next year, even if it's just to go by there just to see it. I definitely suggest it. Made our way home, and no issues, thank God. A boring trip, I guess. Uneventful is what I say, which is what you want when you're on a road trip, right? Let's go around the car and tell you what we did and how we did it. So, the Cayman did amazing. What did she average? Well, I don't know if it matters. I don't really think you buy a sports car to see your Mpgs, but let's see. That's our cab. It's all cleaned up. We've been back a couple weeks. Okay, so your Cayman's a 2-seater. Engine's right behind you. There's not a whole lot of room. Let's open up the front and rear. Okay. That's me hitting the wrong button. Yeah, I gotta do a review on that carbon fiber wing. I don't know. I still got a couple of our chairs. So we had an event we went to last week. We loaded our chairs here and a bunch of other stuff, including my helmet, our laptop bags, everything we needed. Okay, and we're gonna cut to that video here in a second. Okay, the front, just a quick review because we covered this in the previous one. Okay, the front trunk, or the frunk as people like to call it, I got my detail stuff in there, had our 2 suitcases, we had our little toolkit, blah blah blah. We already went over all that. Okay, so we know everything fit in here. Let's take a look at it. This is from our Airbnb on my last vlog. Quick look. You see everything fit, and it was really cool. So we were comfortable, the seats are comfortable, the ride quality is comfortable. Now, the car is stock on the suspension with the exception of H&R lowering springs, and we cannot say that we were uncomfortable in this car. I mean, yes, there's some rough roads, some areas, which you do feel a little bit, but no big deal. It was a very comfortable ride for the most part. I would give it, I'd say 90% of the ride was comfortable. We went a little bit off-road and some gravel roads just to get to certain spots that we want to take pictures through. But overall, great ride. Maintenance-wise, what did I do? We had some videos that came out. I changed the oil and filter before we went. New spark plugs because it was time. Checked my air. The tires are relatively new. And that's it, you know. And those are not the stock wheels. I don't think I ever did an introduction on the wheels, so I got to do that next. But other than that, I checked our coolants, checked everything. Everything was fine. We drove the road course in Las Vegas for Supers in Vegas, and that was a half a day. So we did about 25, 30 laps. We had to cut our day short because we had to check people in for the event and such. But after that, we simply drove the car to our friend's house and changed the oil at his house real quick. And that made things so easy. And then we didn't really have to change the oil, but we decided to change the oil because we were going to drive another 2,000, 2,500 miles, and we just wanted to be safe. So I had oil shipped to his house before we left, took the oil filter with me, and changed the oil in less than an hour over there. It's very easy to change the oil in this car, very easy to maintenance it. From that point, everything is very simple. You're just driving. Transmissions, automatic on this car. It's the PDK. No problem. The car cruises. We're about 5 miles over the speed limit all the time. Keeping up with traffic. Trying to stay civil. But, got on it a few times out there in, the areas. But what is the speed limit in here?
65 or 50.
50. But, it's for the most part, no issues. The overall MPGs on this car, the miles per gallon, from start to finish, including the road course, I never reset the meter, was 28 miles to the gallon. 28.12 miles to the gallon. That's not bad, when you're cruising 80, 85 miles an hour. Even climbing up the mountains, doing a road course, going across elevation and back down, all those things, we ended up at 28.1 or 2 miles to the gallon, which is awesome for a sports car. So, overall, you can use this to take a road trip on, and we're already planning the road trip for 2021. Gonna travel, but we're gonna keep it. Some flies bugging the heck out of me. We are gonna keep it in town in the U.S. We're going east. We're gonna go to Tail of the Dragon next year. It's a year out. We're planning another week and a half road trip. A lot of people, even our own PCA group, why are you taking such a long road trip in your Porsche? Why not? It's a car. We love it. All right. We had a good time. The car cleaned off really great. The ceramic acrylic, so ceramic acrylic with graphene coating we tested from DetailJuice.com worked really awesome on this. The bugs, when we stopped for gas, every time we stopped for gas, wifey was on windshield, I was on front. We're just wiping the car bugs off. You want to do that regularly so they don't pile up on the front, because they can, especially going through the sun and all that, on a road trip like that, it could really hurt your paint. So we just decided to keep up on it, and they would just wipe right off. It's great. Yeah, well, anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give an update on how awesome it was to have the Porsche on a road trip and have fun with it. We got stuff coming up. I gave you a quick glimpse. You might have seen it as we panned through. We got a new car. It don't run, has no powertrain at all, no engine, no tranny. It's a roller. It needs some work. It's a long-term project, but we're going to get to that soon. This is wifey's car. I surprised the heck out of her, and unfortunately I forgot to videotape it, or I would have put it on video because I scored some good points. Anyways, I'll tell you that story on the next one. Hope you enjoyed this. Give us a subscribe. Give us a like. We're in the garage. I didn't turn the lights on. It's sunny outside. It's a beautiful day in Texas today. If you can see that. It's really, really beautiful out today. It's about 65 degrees. Be safe. Be vigilant. and respect each other. It's a little crazy time right now. You're hearing a lot of it. I hope you watch this video and it's a little break from some of the commotion and when everything's going on during election week. Respect each other. We all live here. We all have to live together. This dumb fly, even that fly. All right. Be respectful, care for each other, and have a great week. Hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that jazz. God bless. We'll see you soon.